And we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the case may be. Wherever you're tuning in from, Reds all around the world, welcome to another edition of Red Room, your one go-to place for all things Liverpool Football Club. Liverpool Football Club. The title, and shout out, I think Jack Danny or Eddie might have done it, says Grizz Khan unpacks Liverpool's recent form and importance on bouncing back with me, because it's boring bouncing on your own. I need a panel to bounce with. And I've got just a panel to bounce with. Well, I don't know about today. Hello, Ben. Mr. Ben is usually my go-to guy. Actually, Keith is. What a panel I've got today. Because I've got hype merchants galore. And then there's not negative Mo, but the one that brings it like, goes all the way to Turkey, brings back a Liverpool disaster show, and still. But it is what it is. Benjamin, you have got a job on your hands to get us up and geared for it today. A bit of a rough week. 2 games in a row we've lost. How are we?
I ain't fucking motivating them again. Terrible. Could be better. Could be worse. It's not the end of the season, is it? So probably coming at a good time for Liverpool. 1 game and then an international break, but we'll get into it. Not happy with it. But I mean, no one's going to be happy with it, but it's early. Time to fix it and let's crack on with it, isn't it?
Yeah, not happy. And that's fine, right? Mo, it's okay not to be happy sometimes. It's we're an emotional club, we're an emotional fan base, and fan bases of all clubs these days are effing ultra emotional. We're not as bad as other clubs, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to let you into a trade secret. I stay off Twitter as much as I can at times like this. Not because I'm a coward and I can't face it, like bollocks. Like, do you not know me? Like, it's just, it will just pollute your head. Where you at?
Yeah, we're okay to be disappointed and slightly worried. But I understand what you say, not going on Twitter, because every time we seem to lose, there seems to be a huge meltdown as well by some of our fans. And to be fair, I'm very reactionary as well. And if you ask me,
joking.
If you asked me after Galatasaray, what's your views, I would have given you blah, 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 slot this and this, that. Now I've had a couple of days just to calm down, just to think about it and level my head out and thinking, look, if at the start of the season, if anyone offered you top of the table after 8 games, and 2 defeats, would you have taken that?
Yeah.
Beat your hand off.
Yeah, so we have to have a level head.
Well.
Yeah, exactly. So, but again, 2 days ago, I would have given you a different answer. I would have given you like, oh, this, that, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, we're not going to win the league, So, yeah, I'm sure we're going to chop all this up very shortly.
Mr. Goldmouth, again, one of my hype merchants, one of my go-to guys of beacon of positivity. But I want you to not give, what's the word they give? What's that? Toxic positivity. There's toxic positivity. But there's also, and people always forget the toxic negativity when they mention the toxic positivity. Why isn't there a middle ground?
Do you know what this last week, especially the last couple of games, has felt like, right? It's felt like, if you ever try put thread between the eye of a needle, and when you just keep missing it, and it's just like that feel like it's just, you know what I mean? Like, or you try to put your missus' necklace, and she's got like the smallest thing to lock it in, and you just keep missing. That's how it's felt being a Liverpool fan. It's almost felt like it's quite there, and then it doesn't happen, and then things just. When it goes against you, it goes against you. Football is unforgiving in this world. Do you know what I mean? So I've got a conspiracy theory.
Here we go.
And I've got it because you brought it up. Yeah, because you brought it up about don't go on Twitter. I believe, honestly, that there's quite a lot of narratives and voices that get a lot of publicity and are able to spin a certain situation a certain way. And then it gets flooded with memes that are like banter memes, 007, burst, this, all this, that, and the other. And it does pollute because you're just like, this is all just like, but the players see it and the players engage with it. They hear it on TalkSport. And so what's lovely is to come here tonight and chop it down like men. Do you know what I mean? Because there's some good, there's some bad, and there's some ugly to talk about.
Ugly as well. Yeah. And we're going to try to tuck in as much as we can into it all. Ben, you messaged me. Let me just double check. I think it was about 5 a.m. in the morning.
Probably get the channel banned.
1 second. 1 second. I can't remember now what time you messaged me. You was not. Oh, this was a post-match Galatasaray, and your words were needs sorting out. Not happy. I'm not going to read all of it because some things are private, but needs sorting out. And I could tell you wasn't happy because it's 5 a.m. in the morning. You just woke up and you're still grumpy and you're still angry. This was post-match Galatasaray. So we're going to talk about the Galatasaray. We've discussed Palace and everyone else has discussed Palace and we know what happened. There's no harm. There's no shame in losing to probably, hear me out, guys, probably the form team in Europe, unbeaten in 19 games. And on that journey, they've beaten pretty much everyone, including Liverpool and Man City. Pretty much everyone. But Ben, Galatasaray just didn't feel right, especially in that second half, did it? First 30 minutes, I thought, I like this. Take away their goal, right? I thought, I like this. There was glimpses, but we went out with a whimper, didn't we, Ben?
Well, the fans are the only ones who turned up. That's the worst part of it, and it was a fucking disaster. You know what I mean? To get on coaches for that, they may as well have just took you to a fucking Hooser. You know what I mean? But, you know, I was meant to go out to pull out last minute, but I could deal with losing. But I know you just said they're the info. Well, who the fuck are they playing? Because they're garbage. Do you know what I mean? And we dropped down to a level that we've become like a shoe-owning team again, and that's never going to win them anything. Putting 3 right-backs a game at the minute, it's like fucking bizarre.
So you've got an issue with us not having any structure to our lineups, to our formation, to our selections. You're thinking he's trying to get as many new shiny toys on the pitch because they're his signings. Do you think there's an element of that?
I don't know. Too much change can be a bad thing as well, can't it? Is he trying to... I think... I'm not going to go to what he said last few months ago. I think he's overthinking that PSG rotating shit and he needs to calm down a notch. Liverpool were good last year because they hardly made a change. And do you know what, right? Look at the state of the defending. You know, one thing you've got to give Arsenal credit for is that's the one area he doesn't fucking touch. Hence why they probably are the best back four. Ours, we are just, it's like a fucking game of guess who. You just don't know who you're going to get. Do you know what I mean? And I always think Liverpool are at the best when every one of us can guess the 11. Mm-hmm. Now, we're on so many different fucking wavelengths. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. And I think the first part of it is, as bad as we've been in the last week, you know, teams, they're not really... the Palace game, they were carving us open, but the goals people scoring, Sunday League goals, like, fuck me. We've got big centre-halves. They can't even hit the ball at the minute. And one of them is just fucking evolved into something that I don't even know anymore. Do you know what I mean? He put a fucking ball over the top and it went out the ground and fucking went through a Turkish delight shop. Fucking garbage. Do you know what I mean? And the manager needs to sort it out because there's a few little things that he's getting on this year. And one, which is going to kickstart, I think the Chiesa situation, that's going to be something that just evolves onto other things. And you're already seeing it before the news came out. You know, people bit back and forth, split opinion on it. He's got a big job this year because this is his team now. I trust him. But if he's going to keep rotating it, then he's only got himself to blame, hasn't he?
Mo, Ben thinks too much rotation, especially with the new signings. Are you of the same opinion? Too much rotation, or will we benefit from this rotation? Because you got to remember, around the Newcastle game last year in the League Cup final, in that period, PSG, we ran out of legs. He's obviously thinking we need to maintain freshness. But with the signings that we've made and all the turmoil and all the change, should he go back to try to test it? We're going to get into the Chelsea lineup later on, lads. I don't want a Chelsea lineup from you right now. But generally, are you in agreement with Ben, or are you thinking, no, we got to trust him, this is the way he's going to do it, and it's his team, he knows his players? Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Ben, and I've got a slightly controversial take myself as well, which people won't like what I say here at all.
I don't think you're going to like what you say. We're going.
Yeah. I think some of the signings are not the right profile for the way we're trying to play.
Okay.
And I generally think that. I think Frimpong and Kirkes, speaking of the fullbacks, Kirkes was marauding up and down with Bournemouth. He's not doing that as much this year because he inverts a lot and tries to keep the third man. And then when he does overlap, he doesn't get the ball from Gakpo because he cuts inside. So if you're bombing up and down and you don't get the ball, you just give up in the end, don't you? Like, he's not going to pass to me. Do you mean he's going to cut inside? Like, so I think partly that, and partly also, like, if you notice, all four fullbacks, Robertson, Kirkes, Frimpong, and Bradley, have all struggled at some point this season. That's not a coincidence, surely? That's got to be the tactics and the way they're deployed. Going on to Wirtz, I still think he'd be a good signing, but we won a league last year without Wirtz. We could have, strengthened another midfielder, a Wharton profile or a Belieber even, like, maybe I'm just saying, I'd love to be proved wrong at the end of the season, but I think we may be questioning a couple of the signings by the end of the season. But I agree with everything that Ben said with regards to, it's also square pegs in round holes at the moment. He's trying to force a lot, which, we had 3 right backs in our squad: Gomez, Frimpong, and Bradley. And he starts one of our best midfielders this year on form at right back, and he puts a right back at right wing. And some of the stuff I don't understand. But like Ben says, I trust Slot to sort it out. I think he's just overthinking it a bit much, and I think he's also obsessed with the PSG way of play. But I don't think we've got the same caliber of players technically yet as them to do that. But I think in time we should turn it around.
Keith, that's Mo's and Ben's. Ben's not so controversial. Mo's controversial because he's suggesting that the profile of player that we targeted and brought in doesn't make sense now. Bit premature, or do you see where he's going with that?
The only one out of them that's really disappointed me has been Frimpong. I think that, I don't know if it's the weight of the shirt, if it's just early season nerves, but I've not been impressed with his performances at all. I think Palace game aside, I just think he's looked a bit lost. And I think that right there, the whole wing-back situation, you can say that it's a problem, or you can say that it's a growth change, because ultimately Liverpool for the last 8 years have relied on Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson to be their most creative players. Trent Alexander-Arnold was our playmaker. He dictated play. He changed the game with the instant, with a pass, sliced up the defenders time and time again. And no one's willing to just admit it. We've missed him, we've lost him, and we've tried to change the way we create in a different way. In this different way, things are changing. And I think wingbacks, for example, are something that Slot hasn't quite landed on. So I agree in that sense. But at the same time, I don't think it's for want of trying. I think it's just for want of such a big change. The way we play football has changed, and the way we create has changed. And that changed because Trent Alexander-Arnold decided to go to Real Madrid. That's the reality. So Slot deciding that Florian Wirtz is going to be the guy to be the creator. And I don't know if those stats were true or not, that he's created more chances than any other player.
Oh, it's official stats. It's Opta. It's official.
Stats, right? Now, that is how Slot has decided that he wants to play. He wants Wirtz to be Trent, the guy who creates things, everything goes through, etc., etc. And from that, he needs to create partnerships with a number 9. Like Liverpool at number 9s, in the traditional sense, have not gone well with each other for a long time, in my opinion. We've had our best number 9 would be Bobby Firmino, and Bobby Firmino was a false 9. We've had so many different types of number 9s that have come and gone. The last one was Fernando Torres. So again, that's another big change, because now we're kind of all of a sudden everything's going through the center, which is also impacting Mo Salah. Because what do you do with him in a system like this that he's never played it before? Because it was always about him and Mane for years. Divock Origi, he was a bit part player in the situation. Firmino, he sacrificed himself for those two guys to score loads of goals, right? That's gone. So now we're also trying to figure out how to play with the striker. The reason why I'm very confident is because the players that we're trusting to do it, in my opinion, are top players. But Slot, unfortunately, it's going to rest on him to figure out how to get the best out of them, in my opinion. So I can see why there's certain question marks in terms of the selection, this, that, and the other, but it's a tall job for him. And he's lucky that he didn't have to do this job at last season. Because if he tried to do this last season, I don't think he would have been given the time to do it. He's got the Premier League in the bank. People are they're already questioning Liverpool every 5 minutes. Liverpool win 6 games in a row. They beat Everton. They beat Atletico Madrid. They beat Newcastle. They beat Arsenal. They're beating all these teams. And on the radio, yeah, well, there's something wrong with Liverpool. There's a problem. Starting to question the coach. Starting to question his tactics. I believe it's a tall order for the aforementioned reasons I made. So that's honestly how I see the situation at the moment. I think this is a big, big change, and I don't think we realize it.
Wow. You guys are supposed to give me therapy, man. You guys have got me crossing my arms, folding my arms, and thinking, what the is going on here? Ben,